I'm reminded of a story of Paramahansa Yogananda, who's still laying in state out in California, and he smells like roses. So he must have known something. But a woman walked up to him and said, Paramahansa Yogananda, you're going to go to hell. He looked at her kindly and said, well, I may get there by and by, but obviously you're there already. And so there's a certain clearinghouse effect. And really what it has to do with is participation. And in every one of the Gospels, there's made mention of John the Baptist. And they talk about making straight the way of the Lord. And Rudolf Steiner says that they translate that word as straight. And he said that's not really the point. He said it'd be more correct to translate it as open, that you are opening to grace. And so it requires you to do something. You can't just have it forced on you. It's not the same thing. And then what is this way of the Lord? What do they mean, Lord? Well, the word they translate that from is Kyrios. And Rudolf Steiner says that Kyrios represents the ego that was donated to you through the agency of the Elohim, like Jehovah Elohim and the other Elohim, of which there are 7 principal Elohim. They are the exousiai. And these are spirits of form. And that they actually donated out of their very substance, the substance of your ego. It came about through the agency of Christ, the great Son being, the central being of our whole system. And so that is a very high-flying concept, but really, essentially what it boils down to is you have a choice to take that up or reject it. If you become those that reject it, then, well, you don't ripen. And if you think about fruit ripening, how does fruit ripen? It ripens in the sun. And you look at what Douglas was talking about earlier with the demon Sorath. What is he? He's a sun demon. What is he trying to do? He's trying to withhold the sun from you. He's trying to prevent you becoming the destined sun being that you were meant to be. And I don't want you to believe what I'm saying, but I would appreciate it if at least tried to understand what we're saying here. And that Rudolf Steiner said it's good to have a healthy suspension of disbelief. And that means to be able to be open, as it says, straighten the path, so to speak. And so in being open, one allows things to unfold. And you'd be surprised what your angel could bring you if you're receptive to it. And it's not like you have to do all these things. It's just to be a participant, that you want to be a part of this great symphony that's going on. You don't have to be a soloist. You could just be a part of the symphony.
If you can experience Christ in the etheric, that's the second coming of Christ. What else are you waiting for? You don't need a rapture. And how can you do that? By rising up to see through your own astral body, by taming your astral body, and then looking through it to the etheric, and you will absolutely see Christ in the etheric. Every spiritual tradition, every spiritual path knows this. And every great spiritual being I've ever met, I always ask them about this. They have different names for it, but everybody knows it if they're clairvoyant.